calls live from his local Applebee's.
I'd like the 5 for $5 meal deal, please.
Mm-hmm. Paul, I've got to talk to you about the most important thing that's happening this week in the world of whatever.
Okay.
The grass seed has gone down.
Oh, man. Tell you, all these international travels, all the PC announcements, and again, that was clearly the thing that was top of mind.
It's important.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. So, this is...
Talk to me, man.
There's obviously been a lot going on this week, right? With IFA, Intel, like company explosion, not explosion, ARM coming online, AMD dropping new chips. Like, this is, from a hardware perspective, this is like one of the more exciting times, and I think like the Windows history, because let me just play this out for you. So, going into Best Buy this Christmas, right? As of right now, there will be 3, I don't know if they're trillion, but like multi-billion-dollar companies who are competing for. So you've got Qualcomm with ARM chips, you'll have AMD with their chips, you'll have Intel with their new chips. Put on the back of that, there's rumors that next year, NVIDIA may be entering the arena with an ARM chip. So within the next 18-ish months, there might be 4 massive companies trying to build really good Windows PCs with high performance, great battery life, and they all have the bankroll to really like fight this to the death.
And do you ever wonder why do they bother? You know?
Well,
I mean, in the scheme,
so Intel right now has 70% of the market, roughly speaking. So there's a lot of like real estate out there, and it's not like NVIDIA is a small company. Like they could command like mind share, right?
NVIDIA could buy Intel.
Oh, yeah, well, and Qualcomm might. So,
I know.
But yeah, like it's like
so,
you look at this, it's like it's kind of cool.
I know. So I've described this as the most exciting year in the history of the PC from a hardware perspective, right? And you have to qualify that because it doesn't mean that this year they're going to sell more PCs than ever before. That's not what this is about. It's just that there's been so much advance this year. It's crazy. And you can see the big 3 we have today, which is really a big 1 and 2 smaller players, but they're really circling each other, trying to get the advantage. And
well, they were going at each other at even IFA. They're like, oh, well, Intel's claims. Like it's...
Yeah. So I haven't done this yet. I'm going to, back when Microsoft launched the Copilot Plus PC back in May, I made a video called, Microsoft is obsessed with the MacBook Air. I'm absolutely going to make a similar video called Intel is obsessed with Qualcomm, where you pull out like every single time they mention them. And this is a company, I don't think Intel has ever mentioned Qualcomm before. I don't think they even knew they existed from, a realistic perspective. And they're clearly feeling very threatened. So it's interesting. I spent a bunch of time with Ryan Trutt yesterday, by the way.
Oh yeah,
which was fantastic. I meant to send you I meant to send you a selfie of us, and we got just distracted. I never even took a picture, but he's a wellspring of information. And I've talked to people behind the scenes at various PC making companies, various silicon making companies, and it's really interesting. Like we've just never seen this level of advance. Like Intel put on the front burner things that had been on the back burner for years and would have happened 3, 4, maybe even 5 years down the road, and they're happening right now. They skipped entire sub generations of product to push forward with this thing that we're calling Lunar Lake now, that has Copilot Plus PC, NPU, and incredible graphics, more efficient processor, et cetera, et cetera. So it's crazy how much is happening. Like it's crazy. It's hard to keep up on it.
Yeah. And then just on with all this stuff. So all the companies said, oh yeah, all the AI stuff, 24H2 will arrive kind of without recall, right? I think that's only going to be an insider or whatever. But everybody's getting all the AI features starting this fall. And
Mhm.
so it's like, here we
Yep.
are.
Yeah. No, it's all. But the thing is, we're going to end this year, and PC sales will be up some small single digit percentage. It's not going to be great, And it's like, well, what was all the fuss about? And it's really just about aligning for the future because PCs are on kind of a long tail upgrade cycle. It's just the way it is, and I don't think anyone's looked at uh, co-creator in Paint or
Hmm.
whatever and said, "Oh my God, I have to buy a new PC right now." Like, there's no way. But at some point, people do upgrade, and of course, businesses are on their own cycles. And the question is, what's the standard going to be when they settle in and finally upgrade? And these companies are all pushing each other out of the way, trying to be the company. Um, we'll see. And like you said, next year it's going to get more complicated. It's not going to just be Nvidia either, right? It's probably going to be, we've heard rumors about MediaTek and Samsung,
Yeah.
and Wilson. I don't know why these companies want in on this business. It's so small, but um, it's interesting. And Intel, I mean, look, Intel has so much money that they've just kind of bankrolled their entire operation for so long, but now that they're having some difficulty, it's sad and ironic that the gains that AMD or Qualcomm or whoever else might make might be due mostly to the fact that Intel can't afford anymore to fight back the way they have for 20, 30 years, whatever it's been. It's incredible.
Well, the other part too is there's a non-zero chance that in 10, 15 years we look back to like this time period as the start of the end of x86.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I know, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy. Um, we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We will see. I mean, this is,
Mm-hmm.
if you're a Windows PC user, it's a good time. If you're Intel, probably not a good time. If you're these other
Well,
companies, you've got a market that you can go attack now.
you got to remember, like you said, I think you said 70% of the PC market is Intel, right? And that's probably accurate. That's probably what it is. There may be a version of the future where they're 50%,
Oh,
and
sure.
then
Intel's
AMD
not going
and
away by
Qualcomm,
any
right?
means.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, but I don't know. I said this yesterday in Windows Weekly, but I think we have to put um, what Intel and AMD are trying to do right now with their current gen processors in perspective, in the same way that we did with Qualcomm with regards to, say, Apple Silicon
Mm-hmm.
M3 MacBook Air or whatever. And look, yeah, if the world was perfect, this Qualcomm thing would have come out. It would have been fanless. It would have been 100% as good. It would have been 15 hours of battery life. And it's not, right? But they're in the ballpark, and they're way better than what
Yep.
X64 was. And when I look at Lunar Lake and Zen 5, I sort of view it in the same kind of context. Like, look, they are, and I've heard this multiple times from multiple sources, like, they do not get the battery life that you get with Qualcomm. They do not have the efficiency, but they're in the ballpark. They're so much better than they were before. I've heard contradictory information from different people about which is better, Intel or AMD. So I'm going to have to wait and base this on my own experiences, I guess, or just whatever reviews come out. But the point is, they actually have made giant strides finally. And this is after years, especially with Intel, of just like ignoring all the signals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's happening. And, I always talk about Terry Morrison, and I want to get those freaking Intel stickers off of laptops, and how hilarious it is now. Now there are Qualcomm stickers instead. So I guess you got what you wanted. But but what he meant by that was, well, he meant that literally, but also he didn't care who won. He just wanted Intel to be better, right? And so that will be achieved from a sort of a technical perspective. The question is going to be whether Intel might become like HPE, right?
Yeah.
They'll become the company that makes chips for other companies, subsidized by the U.S. government, no doubt, right? Because they're too big to fail, or too much of a national security risk to fail. And maybe their PC design business, which is Intel as we think of it, is somewhere else. And that's the rumor we saw today, which
Mm-hmm.
is scary and weird, and we'll see. It sounds so far-fetched, but we're not talking about like this is like Reuters. This is
Right.
not bobsblog.com. It's you should pay attention to that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
When do you come back?
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah. So my wife's here. We're going to spend a couple extra days and sightsee and whatnot. It's been a few years since we've been here. It's kind of a cool place. So
IFA is now over.
So IFA, by the way, has not even started. That's the hilarious thing.
Oh, really?
I didn't find this out until after I was here. I think, in fact, I might have been here 2 days before I found this out. So IFA actually technically begins tomorrow on Friday. Oh, wait, that's today. Sorry, I'm losing my mind. So actually, it's starting today. All of the stuff I've been to has, except for this thing this morning, has been like pre-IFA.
Mm-hmm.
So Lenovo, especially, Acer, Intel, Qualcomm, and I think HP, but they only had really one computer to do it, if I'm not mistaken, have all had stuff ahead of IFA or whatever. And then the actual show is, now. So I would imagine it's probably for the weekend or something. But all the people like me who kind of came in here, like the Richwoods and all those guys, they're all like gone. Like everyone kind of came in, did this stuff, and then left, Very few people that I know are going to the show. And it's way the frick out there. It would be like you driving to Michigan. It's like, it's doable, but it's like it's out there, So I'm not going to go to the show, but I've done what I wanted to do. So,
well, safe travels home, and we'll catch you back, back in America.
It's Friday. It is Friday, right? Friday. I don't even know anymore.
Yes, it is. Thank goodness.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm so off. It's August, right? It's still August?